Hello. Those two figures were made by different printers. So this one was made on my old Zortrax M200, and this one was made on the Bambu Lab X1 Carbon, and I managed to get exactly the same quality or even a bit better at 3 times the speed and with some better improvements. So I will share my setup, my preset or config as the files are called, to help you achieve this level of quality. So the same files but different printers, and this one printed 3 times as fast. So initially I went through some tests to get where I am. So if I can just put them next to each other. So this was the first that I made, and it was made using the, I think it was the let me check, standard preset. So it looked somewhat okay, but it was very loose, and as you can see it's wobbling, and I had some problems with the bottom layers. So the bottom layers were like distorted a bit, and I wasn't getting the support that I need. Also, as you can see here, probably the whole shape is a bit warped. Then I tried to modify the shape, so by changing the top interface spacing, which is the layer that is laid before is laid on top of the support before it reaches the surface. I managed to get the good bottom layer, but as you can see also here, this thing is a bit distorted. So I came to a conclusion that the most important setting is to have while loops set to no more than 1, and to set the top interface spacing to 0. So the interface at the bottom layer is as laid out as you can get. So the basic settings, I don't think, give you the best results. So I will show you how to tweak them. I will also have them available for preset, so for download. So if I will move them to the side. So let me show you what model of like detail or interaction that I'm aiming at. So this is this figure's robot mode. This is how he looks from the back. There are markings here. This is called set, Bambu set. It's the letters are a bit different, but trust me, this is Bambu set 0403, just a marking for me to know which preset worked best. So this is my last preset that I finished, and with good results. So he's very stiff. As you can see, he is holding his pose very well, and he's fully you can articulate him any way you want. So if you're wondering, this is the alternative mode. This is just some sticker for me to know the version, and not to bore you if you're not here for this presentation of this alt mode. I will show at the end how to transform it and him, and what's the level of complexity and like detail and precision that I'm aiming at for my figures. So if you want, stick to the end of the video and you will see, but I will show you some other details in program before that. So I can see the wheels even roll a bit. They are stiff, but they work. So let's move to the program to show you the settings, and at the end you will see how to transform him. So to load my configs, you have to just go import configs, and if you have them downloaded, these are the two 0.2mm printformers v001 and 235 ABS printformers 01. So just click open and OK, and now they are visible here, and I will talk about them briefly. But before I do that, I would like to show you how I organize my files. So let me just disable this. So when you open the folder, it looks like this. You have this initial folder, and in my folders they are separated by part types, so arm, chest, like this, and you have this part here called colors. So if you open it, you have this like chart of colors,
And if you wish to print everything in the same color, you just type color underscore free on the search window, and it searches all the parts in the same color. So this is how you can if you want to print everything in red, you just type 1 and it shows you all the, because they are always the part of the name. But let's go with the dark blue, and you can just drag and drop a single object on multiple parts. No, and as you can see, it dropped in place. You can click this button to arrange the files. The default is 5. I tend to use 3, and just to click arrange. So I will move them a bit just so you can see a bit better. So if you are using, I will show you the problems that I had and what I had to change to achieve the clarity that I want. So if we are using standard and this, and we have to enable support, and if we click slice, this is what we get. So as you can see, also this is too much, so let's type in like 10 here and slice again. Okay, this is more manageable. So as you can see, this is the files that are sliced, and the one of the biggest problems that I had was this green part here and the spacing of those parts. This is the part that's sticking directly to the layer above, and the way they are made now, it's very like far apart, so this make the bottom layer very uneven. And for very like precise models like this, like where precision is important, this is not good. And so the first thing that we have to do is just make this more solid, and this is the top interface spacing. This is the settings that I use. Just click set it to 0, and now when you slice, this part is solid, so it helps a lot in the overall shape and precision. And also I set the while loops to 1, and because if you look below, the while loops is set to 2. As you can see, this looks strange over here, but if we set it to 1 and click slice, this bottom layer looks a lot better, and this is what we want. So while loops to 1 and the top interface spacing to 0. This is these are the most important settings that I used. So if you want to use my presets, just discard and ABS preset like this. So this will set everything for you, and also change so other parts like the bottom layer, top shell layers and bottom shell layers, and this is what works for me. I had also problem with like parts being too loose, and there is a very nice setting here called XY counter compensation. So jump to this part to show you for a moment what the counter compensation does. So when it's set to 0, this is how it looks. When we set it to my preferred 0.1, there's not really much difference visible, but the whole part is thicker. So if we set it to 1, we'll be able to see a difference. So you can see when we move and jump, this part here, if you look at this, is much thicker. So this is what, it's not much, but it adds this one small like thickness to help the parts lock. So this is why this setting is great and is important. As you can see, it did not affect affect the hull that much. This part here, even if we set it to 1, it doesn't affect the hull that much. So this is hull compensation. So if you set this to 1, the holes are bigger, but for my setup, this setting of 0 and 0.1, this is what works. So you have to check your own setup. I suggest that just try a few parts that should stick together and see what works, but this 0 and 0.1, this is what works great for me. So let me return to the rest of the presentation, because I am transferring directly for Zortrax M200, and all the prints on the Bambu Studio are a bit loose, so this compensation of 0.01 makes them just like Zortrax. So this is for me. I encourage that you just print one part like this, parts that supposed to be like interconnecting, and see if it's thick enough or loose, and just test the setting. But for me this works great. So from other things that you can also use, sorry if you can hear my cat in the back, from other things that you might change, so some from other useful things that I discovered that I do with my prints. So those parts here are for the bottom leg, the feet, but this is the head, the helmet, and I always want this to be a bit more like detailed. So we have this setting here per object. So if I just select this head, I can change some custom settings. So right now the support looks like this, and it just like goes into this part. I do not want this, so I can change the support from this, from normal to 3, and if I click slice, this is how it looks. So it's much better, and like there's no intersection, very cool. And also I can change the layer height on the same print. I can do a different layer height, so I just go to quality and just type in 0.14. This is what I use at Zortrax. So right now the same print, different layer height, so this is 0.2, this is 0.13, and different support, and it all prints in like hour 39 minutes, very fast. I usually skip this test here. So these are the settings that I use. Most important for me were setting while loops to no more than 1, and again top interface spacing to 0. From other changes, I also like change the top shell layers to 7, bottom shell layers to 7. If I need, I'd use a raft. I created a chart, so like this. So I highlighted what are the most crucial parts, just for preference, and some for specials like ironing or raft layers, something like this. So you will be able to see this on my page. So I'm writing right now an article for it. It is right now it's not finished, but when this video will come out, you can read some parts about why I changed things and stuff like this. So this is how I modified my presets from Bambu Lab. You will be able to download it. There will be a link in the description. So, and if you want to stick a bit longer, I will show you what kind of precision I expect from my prints. So I'll transform the figure printed from Bambu Lab to its alternative mode, and using those files you could achieve the same if you use my preset. So thanks again, and I'm looking forward to your feedback, and if you have something to add or share, please let me know. So take care, and see you at the next part of the video. Okay, before moving on, I would like to show you one more thing. So as you can see, I am using this preset ABS Printformers 1, and this is the preset that makes use of the cool plate that comes with Bambu Labs. So let's drop in an object here. So as you can see, these are my two presets, Printformers 1 and Printformers 1, and if we slice, it creates this object. But if you notice, this is an engineering plate here, and this is because if I choose a cool plate, it won't let me slice. So if you have a regular Bambu Labs, you can just use engineering plate and print on the cool plate using this preset. But unfortunately, this preset damages the plate, the sticker. So I already lost 3 stickers. So I got a Wham plate that I'm using now, and I created a separate preset for Wham, and the difference is that the temperature is initial layer 100, other layers 100, just like they recommend at the other like documentation. And using this occasion, I would like to show you one more very cool feature that I recently started using. So if we stylize this object, you can see this is how it looks. And if you look closely up on top over here, uh, because this circle is coming to an end, the layers are becoming more noticeable, and when we print this, it's unfortunately visible. So there is a way to add a variable layer height, and to do that, you just select an object and click here. And the way I do this for this object is I just select this object. On the right, you have this like bar, and if we go up and down, it selects what we are selecting, and you just drag to the left, and as you can see, it's adding some layers. So I don't know of a way to make it like more smooth. If you right click, you can remove those, so you can just, to make a smooth transition, you can just click a few times like this. And right now, if we slice, it creates something like this. And actually I can show you how it's printing on the Wham. So this is a movie of how it looks printed on the Wham. And yeah, so I recommend that you get this plate or any other plate that the one comes with stock, comes with the X1 carbon. I know they are selling a textured plate, and I'm planning to use that also, but for now I am using Wham. So let me get back to the regular video. Thank you.
So let me show you what model of like detail or interaction that I'm aiming at. So this is this figure's robot mode. This is how he looks from the back. There are markings here. This is called set, Bambu set. It's the letters are a bit different, but trust me, this is Bambu set 0403, just a marking for me to know which preset worked best. So this is my last preset that I finished, and with good results. So he's very stiff. As you can see, he is holding his pose very well, and he's fully you can articulate him any way you want. So I will transform him to car mode, so you can see what I need for the model to do, and what this preset allows me to do, what level of precision. So I'm not sure if I will making commentary or just moving through, because you can see the transformation of on some of my other videos, but if you're for the first time here, enjoy. So let me open the head like this, and I am saying this at all of my videos because of the angles that I have to hold the figure to show you to the camera. It may be a bit more cumbersome or seem a bit more like hard than it is actually. So sorry about that. So we can spin this. We will spin this, and this is a level of interaction that I expect from all of my designs and figures. And so far on the old Zortrax, I was able to achieve this. And this is maybe a bit hard to plug in because I don't. Okay, now it's in. This part is meant to pop off if there's excessive force. So if that happens, don't worry, it's not breaking. There's a small groove here that catches a part inside, so you need to like aim it to make sure it fits, and this will allow the whole this assembly to lock. Now we just rotate the arms like this, move this up, and the whole arms slide like this. Everything is in focus, hopefully. And now we can just rotate this part. I hadn't transformed him often, so it may be a bit stiff for me to handle. And now those part here locks. This groove in here locks, so when you pull everything together, they like interlock, and you need to just make sure. We'll do that later because it may be misaligned when we're doing different things. So right now the legs are locked. If we move this like this and we pull, this will make the leg unlock and open. And now if we move those heels over here, we are able to slide those wheels to the front by using this like slider here, and they will lock at the end because there is like a small point that helps for them to lock. Same with this, we open, now we slide and they will lock. Okay, now we can open everything like this. This is the new part that I designed, and it helps to lock those two parts together like this. Just make sure that they are aligned. Come on. Okay. And now we can move those two parts over here. And those two parts over here, like this. We slide everything forward, like this. Rotate those two parts. Oh, okay. I do not have screws here because they are screws that's supposed to go in here, so right now it's just plugged in, but you can secure it with screws, so do not worry. It's not meant to break, just disconnect if there's too much force. And now we can move those parts here and those parts here and move like this. And right now this waist is locked, but if you slightly move it up like this, it's locked. It unlocks and allows for this movement, so you can move it like this. And now we have this position. This it's out of frame. This white paper, like I said, is just a marking, so it won't be there. And now if we move this in here, it will lock at this point. And now if we align everything, we can just move this like this. They will also lock. Make sure that the wheels are all the way down. We can make some adjustments, like move this a bit here. And this is, and if we just align everything, like I said, you can do this perfectly, but on my, oh, sorry. So like I said, you can do this perfectly, but on the camera it's more harder than it seems. So this is Optimus in his car mode. So yeah, so thank you for watching this movie. I hope this preset and this presentation helps you. Feel free to check out some of my other files if you're interested. I will be posting updates soon, I hope. So this is the newest version that will be updated. I'm not sure if it's online at the time of posting this video, but this will be 4.0, version 4.0. So thanks again and take care.